If I were to ask you, the viewer, what is the most gut-wrenching, nausea-inducing, saddening feeling in the world, you might say something like, maybe the feeling of going through your first breakup, or losing a pet or a loved one. While you wouldn't necessarily be wrong in listing any of these feelings, I believe I have one that fits all three of these categories and also pertains well to the topic of this video. And that feeling is none other than the feeling of nostalgia. The feeling of nostalgia is described as a bittersweet, sentimental longing for the past. Now, I can't describe any better way of how I feel when someone mentions the name of the game that is actually the topic of today's video, Type Soul. Just hearing that name brings me back. Man, does it. Whew. Now, if you guys don't know what Type Soul is, during its peak, Type Soul was basically the Roblox Bleach game. I mean, everyone and their mama was playing Type Soul. And during this time, the game was pretty great. Yeah, it had its ups and downs. However, during its peak, the game was amazing until, surprise, surprise, they shut it down. And while they reopened the game after a few months of the game went on shutdown again. And I'm pretty sure after the first or second time it went on, I'm pretty sure it went on shutdown. I'm pretty sure a total of, I say 3 to 4 times. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's in that range of 2 to 3. Now, while I'm not here to recap the things that, that happened in the game's history, because I'm sure most of the people who are interested in the video will already know about, what went on behind the scenes in the game, of course. But I actually want to talk about how the game got into the state it is as of right now. Currently, as I'm making this video, or as I was making, the script to this video, it was Thursday, February 19th, 2026, right? As of then, Type Soul was sitting at a whopping 542 players. And this is the same game that was previously holding an average of 150,000 players at its peak. 150K. So I bet the question you're wondering right now is, what happened to Type Soul? Why is it in the state it's in right now? How did they fuck up so tremendously for the game to just be in the absolute shithole gutter it is right now? Well, looking back at the stuff that's happened, and after doing a tiny bit of research, I've concluded that, in my opinion, that the main things that really put Type Soul in its own grave were the fucking non-existent balancing, obviously, of course, the drama, and just overall the updates and the things that they added to the game. Those three things collectively combined it together and shot a hole right through the game itself, like Gojo did to Toji in Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. But with all that being said, let's get right into it and discuss the tragic downfall of Type Soul. During the early days of Type Soul, there was a huge discourse over getting the game a balancing team. Eventually, the owner did cave in after like the first or second shutdown, and they finally got one. But needless to say, they didn't do a very good job. Every time they would add a Shikai, a Volt, or a Resurrection, they would, and if it was a high rarity, it was pretty much always going to be the most busted thing in the game until the next patch notes or until they add a new what's it called? A new element to the game. So this one, like for example, this one is pretty recent. Kisuke's Bankai, Benihime. This Bankai was one of the most busted things to ever grace the game. And pretty much it's followed the same trend the game has always had, of dropping a new Shikai, partial res, or script, and making it the most busted thing in the game. This gets old and it gets repetitive. And it makes it so that there's no real incentive to use elements that are already in the game because there's a new one that most people are going to be using and they're just going to beat you 9 times out of 10. On top of the addition with true modes in the game, it just made the balancing just seem non-existent. This was a huge punch in the gut, like for the game itself, because people, like when they're playing games, they enjoy somewhat of a skill gap. It makes it feel rewarding for those who play the game a lot, for them to put in effort into the game to get better and be on top of said skill gap. However, when the balancing is non-existent for the things you add into the game, the skill gap gets smaller and smaller, right? Because winning at that point isn't dependent on who's the better player. At that point, it's dependent on who has the better ability, which just isn't a recipe for success at all. Like, I don't know whose idea it was to like balance the game this way, but they shouldn't be allowed on another balancing team ever. Like fucking ever. Like that's how bad the balancing was at one point in this game. And with the non-existent balancing and ability, and the abilities getting stronger and more busted every time they added them, of course the team behind the game must have been in a lot of pressure, right? Which leads me to the next topic I also wanted to bring up, which was the drama of the game. Over the course of the life of Type Soul, there was a lot of drama, like drama you'd expect from, like, I don't know, a reality TV show. It was just plain stupid. There was a lot of drama and infighting between the staff of the game, and also between staff and YouTubers. And not to even mention the previous owner of the game, Setro Booming, the multiple acts of straight degeneracy that he committed that you would think to only hear of from the Epstein files, right? And while I won't get into specifics on what happened in this video for obvious reasons, if you guys don't know what happened or you guys want to learn what happened, literally just look up Setro Boomin on YouTube, and pretty much all the videos that are going to pop up they're all going to be about how bro's basically the second coming of Epstein. He just didn't have an island, right? Eventually the game got to a point where it felt like every week there was more drama with Type Soul. It got to a point where Type Soul felt like less of a Roblox game and more like a never-ending episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Sometimes it even got to a point where listening to the drama itself was like about the game and learning about it was actually somewhat more entertaining than playing the game itself, because of just because of the shit updates and the balancing, right? And this is a problem for obvious reasons. It's 2026. A lot of Roblox games that I've dropped previously had some sort of drama to them. However, there was no drama like Type Soul drama. Yeah, no. There was nothing like that. I think that Type Soul low-key revolutionized Roblox drama, like as it is today. And as unfortunate of a thing as that is for me to say, I literally cannot think of any other game that generated this much drama, like at all, on Roblox ever. I could maybe think of a few, but going off of anime Roblox games, I can't think. The biggest one I could think of is Type Soul. But hey, I guess to them, controversy, it might be the same as publicity. You never know with these guys. Now, I don't want this video to be too long, so I'll get into my final topic here, my third and final one here and now. I saved this one for last because if it wasn't for Epstein, oh shit, sorry, my fault. I mean Cetro. If it wasn't for Cetro's drama, this would definitely be the largest nail sticking out of the game's coffin, and that would be the updates. Man, oh man, were these horrid. I'm not even going to go over every single update that I disliked because this video would probably be hours long and I ain't editing all that. The main update I wanted to focus on was the last huge update the game dropped, and that was the long awaited, highly anticipated Hell update. This update brought lots of things to the game, and the biggest thing that they brought in this update was the addition of true modes. When the game re-released, and everyone and their mama was rushing to go and get a true mode. But however, the way that they designed the true modes is one of the biggest reasons why the game is where it is today. Instead of making them just slightly buffed or slightly or very stronger variations of the Bankais in the game, no. They just made them the most fucking broken. They just thought of the most broken way that they could possibly make an ability, and they added it to the fucking game. And because they were so busted, and they obviously needed an attainment befitting the power, I can't confirm this, right? I can't confirm this, but just based off of connecting the dots, I think the thought process of when they added the true modes, they knew they were going to be broken as shit, so they made the acquisition a pain in the ass. I mean, obtaining it was beyond trash. It was the worst obtainment I've ever seen. Sakura, Stan, and AUT have nothing on the original true mode requirements. I remember seeing the true mode requirements, and after that, I didn't even really want to play the game because I knew it was a complete waste of time. Now, if you guys are wondering what the requirements are, I'll list them out. Stage 1, you gotta kill 120 hell mobs in ring 1 and fight the boss. Now, these hell mobs, they're equivalent to little mini bosses, so you'd at least want to have at least 2 to 3 people attacking them to kill them easily and quickly. Alright, and that's only stage 1. After you do stage 1, you have to defeat 2 different bosses, and a little FYI, the bosses in this game were completely overtuned. So you're not beating them one-on-one most of the time. The only way you're beating them is by glitching them or jumping them. Right? So, that's stage 2. Stage 3. Now you have to get 5 different books and do a maze, and then you go and fight another boss. Now, you're probably saying, hey Zan, this isn't that bad. What are you talking about? These quests I'm listening to, they're not the best, but they're not that bad. They're going to only take you about a day or three, right? But that's the thing. These first 3 steps will take you a day or 3. Now, when I'm gonna tell you this last and final stage, your jaw might drop to the ground and be like, why the fuck would anyone even make that? Like, who, like, what genius was cooking? Right? Now, finally, for stage 4, you have to spend, and I am not lying when I tell you this, you had to spend a whopping 12 to 30 hours in hell. Yes, you have to sit in the most dangerous area on the game, the most dangerous area ever in the game, where you can also risk losing all your progress by getting perma wiped while you're sitting there AFK waiting for your 30 hours. But so I'm sorry, but who the fuck thought this was a good idea? Like, genuinely. Yes, I understand the true modes are like insanely powerful, so you have to make the entertainment to match. However, let me offer you a proposition. Instead of making the true modes the most busted thing in the game and making the attainment so completely and utterly dog shit, maybe, just maybe, balance your updates and use your brain before you add things to the game, so you don't have to compromise by making obtainment dog shit. Sorry. I'm getting a little frustrated. I'm getting a little frustrated here because I can't help but think about the straight up potential that this game had. It was nothing but straight potential. I wanted nothing but the best for this game. Like, oh shit, that's my timer. Oh shit, my fault, guys. Excuse that. You guys didn't hear that. You guys didn't hear that. Trust. But every single thing I listed in this video played a part in the tragic downfall of Type Soul. Now, I was being so critical in this video about the game and the owners and the staff. And just know I'm only critical about the game because it had this much potential. And I really enjoyed the game. Like, Type Soul in its peak was amazing. Playing Type Soul with my friends back in the day was a genuine top 10 experiences on Roblox. Now, when I think about the game, I can't help but get frustrated. Like, because if a normal human being was running that game instead of the fucking swamp creature known as Cetro Boomin, I'm sure that the game wouldn't be perfect, but I know it'll definitely be far from the state it is in right now. But when push comes to shove, I think that Type Soul is a cautionary tale for anyone making or thinking about making a Roblox game. Looking back on Type Soul, it really shows you what not to do if you're the owner of a successful Roblox game that's probably making fucking millions. Alright, but yeah guys, that's going to be it for today's video. These are just observations I made off of like thinking and looking back and doing a tiny bit of research on the game. Like for the things I couldn't remember. If you guys think I left anything out, or you guys just want to talk about anything relating to the topic of the video, or just anything else in general, just let me know in the comments. I'm willing to have like a nice I want to have a good conversation in the comments regarding this game, because I want to know what you guys think about it, if any of you guys played it. Well, I want to know what you guys think where they went wrong. But with that being said, this is a reminder, guys, at 500 subs, I'm doing a giveaway on Grand Peace Online. On GPO, I'm giving away a Holly All-Seeing Eye, and we're also going to be doing some Battle Royale matches for some mythic chest I got, or some mythic fruit chest I got. So if you guys are interested in that, or you guys just might like my content, make sure you guys subscribe. Other than that, I'm going to end the video here. This isn't my usual type of content. Let me know if you guys want to see more of this. Make sure you guys stay safe. I love you all. Guys, thank you so much for the support. And do not forget, man, fuck Cetro!